So today I'm going to talk about, this is an idea that I have been speaking about for quite some time. It is the how to create a world that moves away from the financial system onto basically a resource-based system where we have unlimited resources and every country has upscaled its economics and conditions, everyone has access to free power. There are several phases to the transition. I've spoken at length about these things on many occasions over the last 18 months. This morning specifically, I was speaking about phase 1. So I'm just going to talk about phase 1 to start with. So phase 1 has to do with free energy, building a system of free power. So free power, free energy, which is both decentralized and centralized. I'm going to show just a schematic of the system, explain it to you, and then tell you why the benefits and the best way to do this, okay? I've made a video about this before a long time ago. So, stage 1 is a move to energy independence. I'm sorry that I cannot screenshot, and that the video needs to be flipped, so hopefully you'll be able to. So essentially, if you look at the schematic, what you have are certain houses, each with. So here you have these are houses, and these are the storage units that store the energy that comes from the houses. Now theoretically, I don't think we have this technology yet, each storage unit on each house should hold 3 days worth of electricity to run the house, okay? Now all of these are all linked together, and any excess, so once these little units are charged, any excess will go into a local hub, so there'll be a bigger storage hub for electricity, okay? And so any excess is then directed into the storage hub, the local area storage hub. And then any excess, once that's full, will go to, like there's another hub in between here, like an area hub that covers an area of a city, for example. And then when that's full, the excess goes into citywide or national storage hubs, the really big storage hubs. And from these big storage hubs then, business and industry, they draw their power from the main national storage hubs. And as the system is being built at the beginning, the original old-style power stations like nuclear and fossil fuels will also feed into the national storage hubs. So this is technology that needs to be developed. We don't, as far as I'm aware, we don't have the capacity to store very large amounts of electricity. So these feed into the national storage hubs, and then the industry and businesses can draw anything that's not domesticated, reduces power free from these areas. So obviously, the houses themselves, residential, is living used to all that power. This is all free, both due to solar panels and on the houses. And if there's any shortage in any of the houses or anywhere else, because all of the entire grid is connected, and deficits. So if the first sort of backup, if there was there couldn't really be a backup, but if there was some draw of power for some reason in some house, then automatically the other storage facilities here would give their electricity, they'd share the electricity between here, and then if there was a big problem for some reason, then the local storage hubs would supply the electricity if there were any issues, and so on and so forth. You understand? So it's a flow of energy backwards and forwards. But basically, when you were living in excess, then all of the units for that to go to the national storage. And you also have hydro and wind also going into the national storage hub. So those could be things that are are sort of they're centralized. So the houses generate electricity. This is the decentralized part of the system, and then the centralized parts, obviously, the national hubs. We've got decentralized parts with the smaller storage units, and then you have centralized other sources of power like hydro and wind. Okay. Now, at a later stage, the important thing is to build this infrastructure. Once the infrastructure is built, you may then be adding in another higher power source, which you can then put into each of these units. Okay. That will come later. So what I was saying originally, this morning what I was saying is how you build this and why you want to get big technological development from this, okay? And the way to do it, you need to inspire every person. You need to build this together. It's not for just a few people, a few billionaires here or whoever to decide they're going to do it this way or that. It's not supposed to be that way. What you're supposed to do is build this thing together. That would mean, for example, the Prime Minister or the President of the country giving a national address and saying, we want to, because this is also a carbon control system, helps climate change, solve climate change issues. There's many aspects to what I'm talking about. This is just basically what I'm trying to explain to you many reasons why. So basically, you have to give an address to the people and say, look, we have this amazing, we want to build a better world. And the foundation of that better world is creating a free power system. This means in 10 to 20 years, you won't ever have to pay bills again. As far as I'm aware, you may have got to the they may take the financial system away already, but they're not they don't understand why the system I told them about hasn't worked. This is why it hasn't worked. They didn't do phase 1. They were supposed to do phase 1 before they did phases 2, 3 and 4. That's technological boom, and then you go online and turn your money off. And then you have free movement of all peoples and people doing public service roles and all of things like that. Okay. Now they missed the part where they get the technological boom. And they missed the confusion, it's because they didn't do phase 1. And I said phase 1 is completely important to the entirety of the plan. So basically, to do phase 1, the idea is that you inspire everybody and you say, look, we need to build this thing. We need you. Everybody's really important. Your contributions are really important. We need you to come and we can build this better world where we can help other countries who don't have as much as us. We can terraform parts of the planet if we have the power. We can solve the climate problem. And we can make sure that everybody, every man, woman, and child has everything, has all their needs met forever. That's kind of like a big thing, but basically we want to build a better future. And to do that, we need you. And we would love you to come and come and be trained, basically operate solar, hydro. At the beginning, solar is the most important and most technological advancements will come from people going into the solar industry. So people ask people, tell people to do a public consultation, would you like this system? It means that your children's children will never have to worry about food, lighting, shelter, anything ever again. It may take 10 to 20 years to build. At the end of that time, you will never have to pay another bill ever again. You will be able to create more food sources. You'll be able to make the lives of poor people all over the world better. Make sure that they have food. Make sure that we can irrigate the land. So the idea is that you kind of inspire people. It's even better if you have two countries doing it at the same time as in America. If you have two countries that say we're going to build this system, other countries will want to then come on board. I've said this 4 times today. So basically, you get people who say, please, we really need you to come help build this. Do you want to build this? People will then feel like they can contribute, be inspired to actually be able to do something themselves about about the issues that we have on the planet, that people's lives are actually worth something, they can make a difference. And then once people sign up for example, like helping with the solar, that means every aspect of from manufacturing it, I guess, to like mining, to like literally developing technology and thinking about that. Then you start training people, you start whatever they want, whatever they're drawn to, when you're asking everybody that please could you volunteer, please could you, not necessarily volunteer, but like please sign up to these things, then we'll place you in various training programs, but sign up to what you feel like is your what you're interested in, because it's not based on your qualifications. What you're interested in or what you're drawn to will yield the best results. Okay? So basically, then you start training people, and those people, because you have so many people then learning about the technology, you inspire people to start creating new technologies. These are people that wouldn't normally necessarily learn about the stuff that they've now wanted to do. Someone was asking or suggesting this morning, they were like, oh, I thought we created like all this new technology, people would be interested in it, but they're not. They just go on TikTok and they're just not bothered. I'm like, that's because you didn't include them. Creating technology shouldn't be up to just a few people, then just give it to people. That's boring. So what? People want to be involved, they want to feel like that they can contribute, they can be creative, they can make a difference, then it's interesting. Then it's like, oh, actually, I learned about this, I kind of can understand this, I'm happy to build something, and I've suddenly got this idea. I didn't even know I could have this kind of idea. I didn't even know that I would, think that this was something that I'd be interested in. I've done it since I've really wanted to do something that's going to change my life, but now I've got these ideas, I'm thinking of these technologies, I'm thinking of, and people will just start sparking. And it's because they're involved, you're not giving them something, you're asking them to help build it. And then people's ideas will start sparking. They get new ways of thinking, they're working with other people. Then once you've started, say, building that for a few years in this country, and so you've got teams of people, training teams of people, then they become the trainers and mentors of other people they're training, whether it's installing the panels, or creating new types of technology to do the panels, or whatever it is. Then you can send teams of those people over to other countries where they've got problems like in much poorer countries. You can make sure that you put solar on their houses and things first, so that they have the basics like power and water, and then you then you ask people, other people, to join up, people who think they can help terraform, like develop terraforming technologies. So then in those countries, then when you've gone in after a few years of doing it in this country, for example, when you've already sorted out some of the power issues here, you can go over there and you can start training them, but you start then terraforming parts of those countries so that they can then grow their own crops, because you've got free power, obviously you can do as much water pumping and whatever else you want there, drilling and all that kind of stuff. So then you can terraform areas of land, they can start producing their own crops within the country, they then start becoming self-reliant, you can upscale the living and like the dependencies, and you teach the people there you bring them on board as part of the team, you train them up so then they become mentors and they mentor other people in the country, they train other people, and you start building a system now. But then you start to develop terraforming technologies. So the first thing you start developing is power technologies. After a few years, then you go to the other countries what are doing terraforming, and then you start asking people to help join that area of the best ways of terraforming, and then you can take that technology elsewhere, obviously. But so this is how the plan was supposed to begin. And then once you've introduced these things as scaling up and leveling each country's abilities to produce for itself, becoming interdependent, which is both in terms of energy, so there's no worries about anything like that. You don't need to worry about it's not so much you don't need to share resources. You can everyone can produce their own resources. And let's just get another document. So basically, which eradicates war. And there's so many things that happen, which they may have done. Some of it may have happened already, but by eradicating money, they have done that. We just come back to it. So just an important people stop. It's also a system that's indestructible. That means that because it's a decentralized, centralized system, no war or asteroid impact anything can completely take it out, because there'll always be power generated somewhere around the planet. Eventually, if you done the whole planet, that's backing up the whole war, it would be impossible to take out the power of the planet no matter what happens. So this is like a safeguarding thing for humanity as well. So, like, there's many reasons to do it. Lots of videos, I don't know what to do it. And my scroll screen isn't working. I'll just, like, try and read some of this stuff. My scrolling is... So that's like one of the main reasons to do it, and also basically it frees you up. There's so many different, the physical reasons for doing it, and then the mental reasons and spiritual reasons. Yeah, there's 3 levels that consciousness that are a part of this. Okay? So the first is the material. So obviously, like I said, there's a safeguarding way of making sure that it would be impossible to annihilate the civilization if we have a decentralized power system like that. But then once you upscale the power, once you've built the infrastructure, so building that infrastructure first is key, like that's what I said at the beginning. And then you will probably introduce another power source into the storage units, whether it's low energy nuclear reaction or much more powerful. The reason why it's supposed to be renewables at the beginning is because to stop you blowing yourselves up. Yeah, if it's a benign power source that isn't utilised for the current uses of weapons, then once you've like evened out all the economics and all the and all of the disparities in the world, and everyone produces their own power, and everyone can produce their own thing, everyone is like this, like that, then you can introduce a power source that's more powerful, because you have eradicated war and fighting over resources, because everyone will have the resources that they need. Okay? Now on top of that, then what happens if you introduce more power is energy. When energy becomes unlimited, mass becomes unlimited. Yeah, 8% squared. So if you increase energy to infinity, you increase mass to infinity. That means that you can create any element that you want in any quantity. That means you can, like, any person would be able to, like, just, for example, because you need to devalue commodities that you see as scarce, like gold and things like that, things that cause war, things that make people covet them and fight over them, and you see them as precious. You need to make them, you need to in fact like devalue them so that they are so that they're not a commodity like money. So when you have unlimited energy, you can then synthesize any element you want, including gold. You don't say, oh, it's too expensive to make gold. It's free. Anyone can make it in their backyard, for example. So if any person on the planet can make gold in their backyard, it immediately loses its value, right? And then the only thing, if you can synthesize any element, the only usage for it becomes technological advancement and development. If anyone can make any element in their backyard, you're not going to fight over anything, are you? You're like, oh, I don't need to worry about that, I can just make it in my backyard. No. So that is the end point of having unlimited energy, which is why if you build the power infrastructure and keep adding to it and increasing its power capabilities, that's the end point, synthesizing any element that you want, any compound, anything. Then all limitations of growth are removed. This is the main problem with why you don't have growth in the material realm, in the sense of technological development and building all these things, why you couldn't have protected, apart from the technology I gave you how to stop an asteroid. But if, like, if there was a massive disaster, one of the things originally that stopped you building what you needed to save yourself was money, because you built scarcity into a resource like money that didn't really exist. So you made up a resource that didn't exist, and you deliberately made it scarce, which is really stupid. So you need to get rid of that because it's stupid. So what you need is something that allows you unlimited growth without any destructive capabilities. Now that is this system. Now maybe you've got rid of all of the destructive, maybe not, or anyone, I don't know what the current status is. So if you've done that, then like still like say for some reason you need to build the infrastructure like that side, and then you put the higher power source in afterwards. So that's the material, yeah? The end point of the material is unlimited energy opposed to unlimited resources, unlimited material, unlimited mass, unlimited elements. And then energy. So, but you need to be in a stable and you need to be in a stable state, as in no volatility, anything like that, which is why the system is supposed to take a bit of time to build. So I'll just read someone doesn't want to read the document. It's been hacked. So the main points of what I wrote here, main points of financial freedom. Free power in every country would like-minded communities, stabilize world economic and political structures focused on vital resources, self-reliant, sustainable households are our only real way to a peaceful future. Create a rudimentary carbon control system where we can inject and sequester what we need. I shall elaborate on that in a minute. Give complete freedom to people to travel and work in the fields that they wish, free of financial constraints. Resources become unlimited as resources can expense of this being no longer a constraint. Happier people not having to think about money, people who decide the things they want to achieve in their life and achieve without financial constraints. Hubs of learning where people sit interested in together to share ideas, open concerns about ideas being stolen, no financial planning ideas, no patents, research grants, massive increase in technological collaboration. People's attention shifts to what they can contribute for the benefit of humankind as competition for learning, which shifts up healthy competition to collaborate and achieve the best. New people enter fields they may not have ever normally gone into due to poverty and financial constraints being removed, sparking new innovative ideas and approaches. I could write a lot more on this topic, it's fundamental to new technology being invented. Upgrade. Once the system infrastructure has been built and on the ensuing technological advancements, to upgrade the system by installing the new power source, maybe learn to do the reaction type of fusion technology. It's each home storage type massively increasing global and power capabilities. So you have then your unlimited capabilities to society need. So then basically what happens to people, so they're supposed to then be, you're supposed to introduce, I don't want aspects to them, so there's originally going to be public service roles. That means that everybody was to work 3 months a year to, like in whatever essential services that you need, all free. Essential services that are needed to run a country, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's mining, whether it's waste resources, whether it's whatever it is, waste disposal, flying plane, train transportation, and working in the service industry, hotels and stuff. And everyone does that 3 months of the year for free. So that the rest of the 9 months, you can just do what you want for free. So you could book a flight, because someone else is flying plane for free, and you do that for 3 months of the year. And somebody's working in a hotel, basically you take them to like serve each other, so that you can all have this great life, like this amazing life, like 9 months of the year, basically. Where you can, so once you take away the constraint of the how do you call it, the horrible problem-solving nature of having to solve poverty and not having enough money, because that's what people spend most of their time doing who don't have enough money, is worrying about how they're going to solve those problems. It's a waste of brain power. They could be contributing with their minds to creating a better world, so thinking, how are we going to pay that now? So you take away all the financial constraints and you free people's minds from solving problems that are just made up. Financial problems are just made up because they don't need to be. So everybody is doing their public or key worker role or public service role for 3 months a year, and then for the rest of the 9 months, so everything's free. Everything, food, transport, everything's just free. And by the way, the point is this part of the plan was supposed to be at phase 4. So phase 1, I just explained to you the how it was supposed to be that first. But they jumped to phase 4, I think, first. I'll show you the whole plan in a minute. And so once that's happened, which is great. But the point is, there was supposed to be social cohesion before that happened, and people's minds being shifted into advancing technology and thinking only in terms of the benefit of society and the benefit of mankind, of humankind, and that was inspired by phase 1. It was supposed to go together and then feel like you achieved this amazing thing together. That's where that change in consciousness, that change in focus, that all focusing in one direction together, in one direction that's like really, really positive, and like everyone wanting this amazing future, everyone learning what they're capable of, so much stuff, stuff inside themselves to bring. And it's all about that in the end, freeing people up from financial yoke is about people learning what's inside of them, what gifts they have to bring. Because once you free them of that and you open them up to potential, then you start naturally being able to be what you were made to be naturally, and then you gravitate to the same types of people. That's what helps you. So once you start being able to discover what you were truly capable, what you were truly able to the gifts to bring in this world, you will be drawn to the certain types of learning, whether it's people with kind of similar ideas who want to create the same type of thing. And then that's what you start doing. You'll be mentors then, help you, like you've got an idea, rather than someone stealing your idea and doing it themselves. It'll be like, because there's no benefit to doing that. People won't be thinking like that because they would have learned building something together, building some amazing stuff. So it'll be like, great, you'll come in with these new ideas, we've got this effect, let's build this, they're going to elevate. And so people go into these hubs, they're drawn to different hubs. So in the beginning, the universities were supposed to say they'd eventually transition into hubs as people started to just be a different way of learning. As a society transitions from choosing public service roles and then finding out what it is inside you that you want to, what gifts you want to bring, what light, and you get drawn to other people who are doing something similar and then make something cool that's really good for society, really good for the world. Whatever. So that's one of the end points of the system. Why the system is supposed to be that way. That's one of the spiritual elements. And then you're supposed to ascend. So you're supposed to free people so they'll start discovering the journey of spiritual development as well. So once you start being able to be really into your true spirit, then you will start becoming more attuned to spiritual. So it was supposed to be the foundation, of course. The foundation is the material foundation. Leading up to the spiritual development. You have to have strong foundations. So I'll just read what I've written. So first trial city, experimental city development. So this is what I wrote in June 2022. So the first renewable power, free renewable power would already installed infrastructure for all needs and power. This was if they were going to do an experimental city. This was before I was saying, here's how you do it in the real world. You could do it in a contained city. Model below further allows people to travel freely on airplanes to make those statements as the firstly, to calculate the number of citizens needed to make a brick, how many citizens are needed to run essential services at any given time, essential services being those which are needed to make the city or society function, like sewage, waste collection, maintenance, construction, transport services. These would be classed as public service roles, just like the class key workers based on the number of people in the population. Ideally, would have a number of people that meant 3-month rotations serving up and working in public service. I always thought 3 months for some reason. Defined as those needed to put the city working as described above. That is a secondary occupation allocated to or chosen by those people. They can choose the public service they wish to perform in less than shortage, so that would be the service. This would, in a functioning civilization, be something that was chosen by children when they were growing up, maybe at age 16. Then they could start training in that area, a bit like training, which would then lead on to free education. So in the transition zone, originally it was supposed to be that the power became free first, then education, and then it went through various different areas of society until the entirety of society was free and devoid of money. But it started in the original transition. First it was the power sector, then it was education. This is in the original model, which is nearly 2 years ago now. When the original financial system was all crazy stuff happening with the injections. So the idea being that only 3 months of public service work can be needed by citizens, the other 9 months they can do or training what they are drawn to or wish to do. So this was the original for a city, this was way back. So the real world map, stage 1, free power and energy independence by the countries and power flow as part of what I just showed you. Eradication of constitutional power. First stage to move to cashless society, migration of energy from zero cost by solar panel functions. See PowerPoint for explanation. Power stations were taking a role in national global backup power supply as systems go. So we've done that a little bit. Phase 2. No, anyway. How to initiate conception. I mean, how to begin the process. That was supposed to be a solar panel function. Phase 2 is either going to be the build phase. Here we are. So phase 2 is going to be either the build phase. Phase 2 and 3 are kind of interchangeable. So whilst you're making the power, whilst you're getting excess power, the people were supposed to be developing the technology, so you get like a technological view. It's like so phase 3 was building phase. Let me just see if I can just scroll through. See if I can scroll through this. Well, I still So stage 1, so this is the real roadmap for the entire world, for a country or the world, basically. So stage 1. I don't have a way of like scrolling. So, phase 1.